welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all okay and having a lovely week. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Laura. This is my little 2-week-old Ophelia. I am already a mum to a 3-year-old boy, which is he's just gone to childminders. So I thought, right, I've wanted to do this video for quite a while. Well, she's 2.5 weeks, but I've wanted to do it for like about a week. I just haven't got around to doing it. Mum life of 2 has been different, but it's been amazing. So today, obviously you've probably seen, and probably while you're watching, it's going to be a video about vaginal birth after C-section. So it might be a long one. I don't really know how long this is going to take. I hope you find this super helpful. If you're not new here and you have come along from my Instagram to watch this, thank you so much, and thank you for the support on these videos. I hope you enjoy watching this, and I hope you find this as useful as I did watching other ones. So before I decided I wanted to go for a VBAC, I did watch quite a few of these videos that were on YouTube, and I did find them super helpful. So I thought I'm gonna do one, and I hope that you guys also find this sort of like beneficial to watch, and I hope that this gives you a successful VBAC delivery. So first of all, congratulations if you're watching this and you're pregnant. Congratulations, and I'm wishing you a happy, healthy pregnancy and birth and labour. Exciting times ahead. How far gone are you? I'd love to know if you're having like a boy or a girl or twins. Please comment below. So you're probably watching this because you're hoping to go for a VBAC delivery this time. So if you're watching this and you aren't sure what this sort of like means or the idea of it all really, basically, if you've had a C-section before, they are quite, how can I describe it? They aren't massively pushing you nowadays, I don't know what it is, to have a vaginal birth. There's obviously risks that you have to weigh up throughout this situation. And obviously it can be quite scary, it can be quite daunting. I just presumed because I'd had a C-section, an emergency one with my son, which I will discuss and go through all of that situation in a minute. And basically, I just presumed that this time around I would have to have another C-section, until I started having a little bit of a research, a little bit of a look around, noticing that other people's stories, that they had had one as well, or they had tried to have one. So yeah, I didn't really realise that the sort of impact or situation after you've had a C-section, how the risks begin. So with my first pregnancy 3 years ago, I had an emergency C-section due to him being breech. So my son was breech basically, I think, the whole pregnancy. I felt him in that position quite up under there the whole time. I felt a lot of kicking movement, sort of under, like the different way around than what it was this time. So I was booked in for a planned C-section at 39 weeks. So if you are due, if you've got a breech baby, they normally book you in at 39 weeks for a C-section. So I was booked in on the Monday. The Saturday night I'd had a McDonald's, super healthy. I'd had a McDonald's and I thought I was getting tummy cramps. Now I didn't realise first time, I didn't do no research, I didn't do nothing. I just got pregnancy. I didn't realise that you could go into labour even though he was breech. We went into labour. So I went into labour. He was trying to kick his way out through my cervix. I was 38 plus 5 days. So the Saturday night, my partner, Calvin, said, Laura, I think that it's actually contractions that you're having. I don't think that it's the McDonald's playing your belly up. So anyway, bless him. So we went up to the hospital. I got checked, examined, they call it, and I was 2 centimeters dilated. So obviously massive panic shock. Obviously you can have breech babies like vaginally. I hate the word natural, sorry. You can have breech babies vaginally, but it's not very safe. So, and I didn't want that. I just had booked in for my C-section. Anyway, it turned into an emergency one. So off everything come. Calvin and me got into our like robes and everything like that, and I got rushed down for an emergency C-section, which they would have classed it as. So I had it, everything was fine. You know, in a C-section, no matter how you have your baby, as long as they're here safe and sound, like whatever way you have your child, it does not matter. It really doesn't. You know, as long as they're here safe and sound in your arms, you would go through anything just for that moment. So it really doesn't matter how you have them. I had the experience of a C-section the first time around. So I come around. Now I must admit, this is different for everyone. So literally everyone's situation, don't think, oh my gosh, if you are watching this and you are thinking you're not sure whether to go for a vaginal birth or a C-section again, my recovery was just quite hard. You don't have to, but I had injections in my tummy for 10 days. I was being pulled off the sofa. I just found it really hard with a newborn baby that I had no feeling in my tummy. I just found it really difficult recovery wise. And then we went into a nation lockdown, so I couldn't drive anyway. We could stay at home, so I managed to rest quite a lot, and I did get a lot better after I'd had my son. So yes, that is the labor and delivery with him. So then 3 years on, we have got our little girl. Now, obviously, I really didn't know what to do. At the start, I just presumed that I would go into having a planned C-section, again, at 39 weeks for her to come. Then again, like I was saying, I started to do more research and stuff like that, and started to see more people actually was having having these VBAC. So I thought, I'm going to do a little bit of research. When I spoke to my consultant, he said that you weren't high risk, that you naturally went into labour, which was actually a good sign. Even though he was breech, my body did naturally go into labour. So all of this was actually a really good sign to maybe try this vaginal birth, you know, and go from there. So obviously that gave me a really good determination. Is that the word? Determination? A really good, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and do it. So I just wanted the experience of even trying to, even if I got to so many centimetres, I had tried. And yeah, I just wanted to. Obviously everyone's completely different, and everyone has their own way of how they want their baby to be here. But it's just one thing in life that you just can't plan. Even I had that planned C-section booked, I didn't even get there. It's just one thing that you can't plan. They could come 4 weeks early, they could come 3 weeks late, they could come on time. Yeah, so baby girl's story. So basically I was heading to 40 weeks. So on the 11th of March, I had her. My due date was on the 12th of March. So I was just going to keep going. I just thought I'd keep going to 41 weeks. If I got to 42 weeks, obviously I would have then had to sort of maybe have an induction or a sweeps and stuff like that. But I thought I'll just keep going. I didn't hate being pregnant. I actually enjoyed it. This is my last pregnancy. So I was just embracing being pregnant, along with the heartburn, you know, the thrush, the acid reflux, all the glam parts of pregnancy. I was just enjoying, I think. So anyway, so then I got on to, we got on to my growth scans. So I have an underactive thyroid, which can be quite difficult to fall pregnant or to carry a baby and stuff like that. So let's take it back that I literally never thought I would be a parent. When I was 19, I got diagnosed with an underactive thyroid, and they said that, you know, your fertility and stuff like that, if you didn't keep on top of your meds or, you know, sort of looked after the thyroid, there would be a high possibility of fertility. So yeah, I don't really see myself in this position. So yeah, I do feel very grateful, and here I am with my second child. And basically I had to have growth scans every 4 weeks. So I got to 35 weeks, she was growing fine. They said, let's stop, you don't need no more growth scans. Absolutely fine, she's got, you know, everything's okay. So then I had reduced movements I was about 39 weeks on the Sunday night, so the week before she was due. I went in there and they couldn't understand why I had reduced movements, but obviously it is a concern when you have that. So then on the Thursday, I was booked in for a growth scan. I went in for my growth scan on my own because I thought it would be fine, everything will be okay. You know, my partner was working, my mum was working. I said, I'll be fine. I'll be in and out like I have the rest. Like, don't worry about it. Yeah. This is when it all begun. Oh my God. Okay, so basically, I went in for my growth scan and I could see her like I was like, is everything okay? Is, you know, the measurements okay? Is everything all right? And she was like, yeah. Obviously I panicked. I was like, do I need my partner here? Do I need my mum here? Like, what's going on? She was like, just trying to get the measurements. Hang on. I was thinking, oh God, why? I've had like growth scans every 4 weeks since I've been 6 weeks. Like, I had a bleed at the start of having her, so I have had scans from 6 weeks. I have seen her since she was like, as you can see on the picture here, a little bean, as I call it. What is going on? Anyway, they said that the growth had completely dropped. So I thought, great. So the growth had completely dropped on her. Obviously I was panicking. Why? How can she drop that much? She had reduced movements, her weight had dropped. What is going on? Anyway, I'll get to that when I get to the birth story. So at that point, I went into the room. My partner tried to finish work and come to me, but it was just not happening. He was like about 20 minutes, half an hour away. By that time, I was in a room with, I presume it was a doctor and another lady, which I think was a midwife, I think. And they were discussing my situation of what I wanted to have done at this point. So basically we went on to having a chat and a discussion about it. She said, I've got a planned C-section that you can have tomorrow at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock it was. Do you want to go for that? Well, obviously, no. No. I mean, yes, I want her out, I want her safe, but no. I didn't know why she had reduced movements. They didn't know. I didn't know why the scan was showing that she had dropped weight massively. But something at the back of my mind was telling me she's all right. She's okay. You know, everything's okay. I can still feel her moving. Back to moving. Everything seemed okay. Everything else seemed all right. What is going on? Like, do I stick with my gut? Now, this is completely not for everyone, maybe. For everyone, this isn't. Now, I started hypnobirthing at about 28 weeks, I think. I started reading a book of hypnobirthing, which was the Positive Birth Company, I think it's called, on Instagram. Absolutely amazing. Also, I think it was called The Naked Doula. I watched all of their YouTube videos, which I will comment below and I'll add their Instagram here. Amazing. So I had done this for nearly 10 weeks of breathing techniques, just getting to know my body, getting to know my rights of, you know, of what I almost, it's my birth, it's my baby, you know, they are midwife and doctors which are fully trained, but this is for me, you know, it's me carrying this baby, and they get you to understand all of that situation. So I started hypnobirthing. I'd done a course, absolutely fantastic. I learned all the techniques. Like I said, I read the book, absolutely amazing. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend this, because this is what I think got me through going with my gut, basically. So I sat there and I said, is there any chance of me having this vaginal birth? And they said, you know, we're not sure, but, you know, they were going on. And I said, well, can you give me a reason why, like why I can't have it? So anyway, they said, you know, we're not sure of her heart rate, and, you know, we're not sure if she's actually like happy in there and stuff like that. I was like, right, okay. But they said, but we've got no other risks. You know, she's still moving. Everything else on the growth scan was okay. Her heart's okay. I got no infection. Everything, like I had my blood pressure checked. It was all right. So they said, let's go for it. We'll book you in at 7 o'clock in the morning or 7:30 to have an induction. Would you be happy with that? Now, obviously I would have liked my body to have naturally gone into labour for the contractions, because a few of my friends and my family have had inductions, and they just said that the contractions were more intense. Obviously with a C-section scar, I was getting really worried about this. You know, what's my scar going to be like? Will it be able to hold up if I go into intense contractions and stuff like that? So I ruled out having the hormone drip. I said, I don't want that. I had obviously researched that again. I said I didn't want the hormone drip. I'm scared that I will go into labour too quickly. The contractions would be too intense. I don't have the greatest pain pressure hold and I won't be able to cope with it. And they said, that's absolutely fine. We can't rule it out completely, but just see how you get on. I was like, right, okay. So anyway, I went home after all of this chat, spoke to my mum, we got childcare sorted. We packed all the bags, got everything ready. I had a good night's sleep. I didn't sleep, but had a good night's sleep in my own bed on the Thursday night, ready for the Friday morning. So, birth story. Well, labour, I should say. Labour. Here we go. Labour Day, it's time to meet baby girl. I thought I was going to meet my baby girl on the Friday, which would have been the 10th of March, 2023. Oh, how I was so wrong. So wrong. Right, so I go in there with all our stuff. 8:30 I got there in the end. I rung them at 7 o'clock and they said, come at 8:30, we'll get you all ready. So I go up on the ward, I get checked, I get monitored. She's moving fine, my pressure's fine, everything's okay. 10 o'clock, we go down to the labour suite to check my cervix. So if I was 3 centimetres, they could have, or 2 centimetres, they could have popped my waters there and then. I probably would have had her on the Friday. I was only 1.5 centimetres. Now I forgot to mention as well that I'd had a sweep on the Sunday and I was 1 centimetre. So I'd only moved 0.5 in nearly a week, 5 days. And I thought, oh no, this is going to be long and very intense. But anyway, I went with it. My partner's really calm, he's really chill. He was like, Law, it is what it is. Let's just go with it. Childcare sorted. If we're here for 2 days, 3 days, it's all right. Okay. So anyway, basically what happened was then we went into the labour room. I had 4 rods, they would call it. They look like tampons. I can't describe them in any other way. As you can see here, my legs were up on stirrups. I'd done all my breathing techniques that I learned in hypnobirthing. They must have thought, is she all right? But yeah, so we went through all of that. Calvin held my hand. I had these 4 rods put in my cervix and basically it expands the cervix so then they can go in and pop the waters. So this could take up to 24 hours. So they said, I'll check you at 5 o'clock. So I thought, brilliant, I reckon I'll have her tonight. So I went, I was bouncing on the ball, as you can see. I walked around the whole of the hospital. Me and my mum went and had lunch. Calvin went over and seen my son, went and sorted him out, bless him, just so that, just to check he was all right, because it was all like, go, 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 so quickly. So my mum come up, we had some breakfast. Obviously I wanted my mum as a birth partner, so I thought, if you're around the hospital, mum, you're there. Well, anyway, time was getting on. 5 o'clock come around and I said, is someone checking me? Because they said 5 o'clock. Oh yeah, 5 o'clock in the morning, Laura. Well, they said, no, not 5 o'clock tonight. It's only been 6 hours. It wouldn't have worked yet. We need to check you at 12 hours. I was like, what, 11 o'clock at night? And they said, yeah. So anyway, time went on. I told my mum to go home. My partner went home and I just tried to get some sleep. So it come round to the evening, I watched Love Island and I got about an hour or 2 sleep and I started to get like pains basically at like 12 o'clock at night, at 11 o'clock. So they said, we're not going to check you, we're just going to, let your body just keep going. And I didn't want to be examined again to be told that maybe I was only 2.5 or 2 or something. It's in the middle of the night. They just said, get some sleep. It's not going to do no harm apart from open your cervix even more, which would bring labour on even more. So I went to sleep and I started to get these pains and it got to 4:45 in the morning and I went out onto the reception and I said, look, I've got pains. And the woman was fantastic and she went, ring your partner, we're going down to the labour ward now. And I said, oh no, I don't know if it is. She said, it is, it's happening. You're going to have your baby. Oh my God. At this point, I was so bloody scared. It's happening. Obviously, we didn't know how it would go. We didn't know if I would be, maybe taken in for a C-section. I just did not know at this point how it would be. So anyway, basically, I rang my partner. Luckily, my mum was at my house with Kojo, my son. Calvin come right up to the hospital, got with me about 6 o'clock. I'd had the rods at this point taken out, and I'd had my waters popped. So all of that had happened. Then Calvin come in and the contractions begun quick. Like, I don't know if this is like normal, but they happened fast. As soon as those rods were out and the waters were popped, contractions had begun. Like, it was intense. I think that's normal, because contractions, I think, are actually harder than the whole birth. I don't know if anybody else found this, but I found contractions harder than pushing. So anyway, I basically was like, oh my God, so I was bouncing on the ball and stuff like that to try and like get it moving. I couldn't sit still. Every time I tried to sit still for them to be either examine me or check me or just check my blood pressure, I was having to be monitored the whole time in this labour. So I had to have these, as you can see on my stomach here, I had to have this on me the whole time to check her heart rate and to check what was going on, I think, obviously due to the scar, my previous C-section scar. So she had to be monitored the whole time, which was absolutely fine. So, but it was hard because I wanted to move around. I learned in hypnobirthing to stand up, try and let gravity pull the baby, to head down, to get ready, and just to keep moving and keep like dancing, basically, to get your body into that. They was like, Laura, you've really got to try and stay still a bit because we need to monitor the baby full. I was like, no, I can't be lied on a bed, like I just can't. And it started to get more intense. It got to about 7:30 and a consultant come in and she said, you're dilating fast, you're now, I can see that you're contracting. I'm going to come back at 9:30, and if you're not contracting anymore, we are going to have to start the hormone drip because we need it to progress quick. You can't be in a long labour when you've already had a C-section. I was like, okay. So anyway, she come in at 9:30 and I thought, oh my God, she come in with the stuff, come in with everything. She was like, right, we're going to examine you. But at this point, I was contracting a lot. Like, I felt like my contractions were happening really quickly. And she was like, I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to examine you. And I said, I can't, like, I'm in so much pain, like, I don't know what to do. At this point, I had started taking a bit of the gas and air. But it's not for everyone, I don't think. So I just continued to keep breathing, but taking the gas and air here and there if I could. I felt like I was on like a party night out or something. Whoa, I felt really funky when I was on that gas and air. So anyway, cut long story short, she examined me at 9:30 and she said she's 5 centimetres. She's not going on the hormone drip. Awesome. Yay! So obviously by 10 o'clock, I was contracting quite a lot and very quick and very fast. And by 10 o'clock, I think I asked for the epidural. I said, someone give me the epidural. It's just hurting so much. Like, I don't know what to do. Sorry if you haven't had, obviously, your baby. But let's be honest with you. Nothing in life comes easy. And the contractions, they aren't easy. So I was trying to breathe through them. And they were coming quick and fast. And basically, we got to the point that the lady come in with the epidural about 10:30. And she was trying to get it in my back. And I don't know what it was, I just couldn't stay still. I kept contracting. I think they got to the point that it was 30 seconds, every 30 seconds. And then it got to 20 seconds and it was just lowering every time she was trying to get that epidural in my back. So at 11:15, she got the epidural in my back. And as soon as she got it in, I just said, I need to push. I need to lie down and I need to push now or stand up. When you have an epidural, you can't go in water. So I couldn't get in the water bath. And you also, you can't really have a water birth anyway after having a C-section because they have to monitor you obviously at all times. So that was out the window. So anyway, so I wanted to stand up, but I had to lie down because I'd had the epidural in my back. So it got to 10 to 11 and they just said, no way have we just put the epidural in your back and you need to push now. So basically, it wouldn't have worked, I think, for either 15 minutes or half an hour. So I begun pushing. 11 o'clock, I begun pushing. I think the epidural kicked in at about 11:45 when I started to do my last 2 pushes and the contractions started to ease off a bit and I just pushed and here she come. She come with her arm out, her head out, and crying. She was crying. They thrown her right up on top of me. Her little heart was, oh my God, it makes me want to cry so much. She was just up on top of me. I told them that I didn't want to breastfeed her right away because when I had my son at a C-section, they'd done that, and he just got all choked up with mucus and breast milk, and he had to just have his airways all sorted. So I didn't want that straight away. So we had what it's called as the golden hour, and she just lied on me for an hour with a little hat on. They didn't weigh her, they didn't do nothing. She was just like this on me for an hour, crying. I was literally amazing. When the cord had finished, given enough time, my partner then cut it. Obviously my mum was in the room with me, which was absolutely magical. My mum was with me the whole time, which is what I wanted. I forgot to mention that my mum come at 9 o'clock in the morning when I was 5 centimeters dilated, and my son swapped over with my sister, which I'm so grateful for. And my mum was there with me the whole time, which I really wanted to experience. My mum is so funny, and they were so funny. Like, her and Calvin throughout the whole labour were like, my mum was like, do you want to go get a coffee, Calvin, or a hot chocolate and stuff like this? She was just trying to keep it so cool and calm. Like, I love her so much. So she was there the whole time with me. Basically, we then got on to, she was with me the whole time. Then an hour later, she got monitored and everything, checked, and she was £7.1, which was the same weight as my son was born. And I just couldn't believe it. Like, it was done. Like, I had the vaginal birth after C-section that I had literally dreamt of doing. It was magical. It was amazing. It was really hard. The contractions were hard. The epidural, I think, had worked right at the end, like I was saying, for the last 2 pushes, and also I had to have stitches because I'd had a 2nd degree tear, I think it's called. So my legs again were up on stirrups, and it was like she was knitting a blanket. She was just knitting away down there. My mum and me were laughing. My mum was holding my hand. Calvin was holding Ophelia over on the chair, having skin to skin. And I couldn't describe it no more than it was like my nan that knitted these kind of blankets. It was like that down there. So she had to do 2 injections and then just knit away. That didn't hurt, not at all. Obviously, I think the epidural had kicked in for that. If not, you have injections and that completely numbs it anyway. So yeah, everything was fine. And then I got sewed up basically, and then I had the placenta come out. I think the placenta come out before, actually. Yeah, obviously it would have. So the placenta then come out about 20 minutes after I'd had her. That relief was incredible. It felt so much better after all that had gone. And then basically I then had to have the stitches, and then I just relaxed a little bit for about 20 minutes, and I went and had a shower. I went and just washed all myself off, got changed into some pajamas and a dressing gown, and we just sat in the room for 2 hours. We had food, we had drink. My mum went and seen my son at this point, swapped over with my other sister. And bless poor old, the childcare for the second one. I mean, luckily he was loving it with all of everyone, like, so fun. But I did feel really guilty, but he was fine. So yeah, then we went up onto the ward about 4 o'clock. We were monitored and checked and everything. And as you can see here, like little pictures, that is the last moments I will ever get of being a mum in a hospital with a newborn, because that is it. But it just felt so magical, and the midwives were coming in and asking me all about it. I don't think at the hospital they have a massive rate of VBACs, so they were coming in and asking me all about it, asking how I was, asking how it was. The midwife that I had in with me was absolutely incredible. Both of them were amazing. Midwives are so underrated and underpaid. Like, I wish that I could give them my world, like, not my baby, but I wish that I could give them. I am going to drop up a present and a card tomorrow just to say thank you, because they were all incredible. Obviously, with all these strikes going on, they can't strike, and they just keep going through with whatever basically the day handles that like throws at them. They handle it. They're amazing. They were so kind, all of them. And I was in there until the next day. Again, it was so busy that they didn't discharge me till the evening, which again was absolutely fine. But I was so excited to get home with and see my son and just take Ophelia home and in our own comforts and stuff like that. So she is now 7 pounds 6. I am trying to breastfeed. It's going well so far. It will be 3 weeks on Saturday, so I would have uploaded this on the Sunday. So she latched a lot better than my son. I don't know whether that's because I had her, you know, vaginally, that it all broke down, you know, like, and she come out and was there. My son really struggled to latch when I had a C-section. Again, I'm not sure if that's any different, you know, of why, but so she's put on weight now. Bless her, she's fast asleep now. And that is basically my VBAC birth and labour birth story. I don't think I've missed nothing out. I hope I've missed nothing out. If I have missed something and I remember it, I can't remember I've actually remembered it as well. Like, I've got no notes or nothing. I've just sat and remembered all of that. My God, I say I've got baby brain, but maybe it's only for things like washing and the shopping and ringing people like the bills and the laundry, because I just remembered that off the whole of my head and I can't quite believe it. But anyway, that is my story. That is, I had 2.5, well, when I filmed this, it'll be 3 weeks ago. And I just want to say, like, no matter how your baby comes here, obviously, no matter how the baby arrives, whatever way is your way, and as long as they're out safe, then do what you need to do. But I just want to say, like, if you feel that you are ready for a vaginal birth after a C-section, just go for it. If they say they have to induct you and you have to have an induction, as you can tell from my story, I was scared to have it done. I wanted to naturally go into labour, but again, you can't plan this situation. I forgot to mention, actually, one thing before I finish this birth story off. Do you remember me saying in the video earlier that basically Ophelia's birth weight dropped down in the growth scan? Do you remember me saying that? And that's why I had to have an induction? Yeah, she hadn't. Basically, her head was so low in my pelvis, ready probably to come out in the next 3, 5, 7 days, that the woman, the scanner, I'm not sure what they're called. Are they called a sonographer, I think? She didn't scan her head. So her head she couldn't get a measurement for. It was probably her whole of her weight was her head. So that's why it looked like on the growth chart on the Thursday, that is why she looked like she had dropped weight. She hadn't, they just wasn't able to measure her head because she was so low in my pelvis. So after all that, and I only found that out when I was already being inducted, so I found that out on the Friday night when I was getting my cramps and that lot and everything, and I was speaking to a midwife, and she said, no, I've checked on your notes. It's because the growth scan was because they couldn't get a measurement for her head. Really? Never mind. Anyway, I'd had her, everything was okay, never mind. But so I just want you to go with your gut. Go with what you feel like. If you feel like you want to start hypnobirthing, I would highly recommend it. If you feel like you really want to try a vaginal birth and you didn't have no massive complications or high risks in your previous C-section, go for it. Like, it was honestly the most dreamiest, amazing experience I will have ever experienced in my whole life. I loved having my C-section, but the vaginal birth, really a completely different situation, and the recovery has been painful still, you know, nothing comes easy. It has felt a bit sore and tender, yeah, but so worth it. So best of luck with your labour, best of luck with everything throughout your whole pregnancy, your labour, your delivery, you know, everything. And I'm wishing you so much love and happiness and the best of luck with everything. And if you manage to, you know, whatever labour you have, please comment below or write to me over on my Instagram. I would literally love to hear all about this and speak to you all. This is why I started this YouTube and Instagram, was just to give people somewhere to come to just feel like they're not alone. Because when I started this, I was in a lockdown with my first son and I felt really alone. So I just started this just to just to have someone like to speak to. So yeah, and you help me when you speak to me and stuff like that. It's nice to chat to you all. So it's nothing better than having mummy friends, even if it is via a phone. There's nothing better to get you through your day as a mum. So I hope you all have a fantastic and amazing birth, and best of luck with everything, and I hope to see you at my next video. I've got so many which I'm gonna like put here of what my next videos will be within the next few weeks and months. So yeah, I hope to see you at them. But yeah, please subscribe, like, comment if you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you at my next ones or over on my Instagram. But for now, bye bye. Thank you for watching. Bye.